ticket, and I stupidly used my debit card, so it was pure cash, $2,000 even. So that came out of that. Then they had the Syracuse Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
Now I could get those tickets as a member of the New York City Club of Notre Dame Club of New York, Notre Dame Club of Long Island, but I don't know if they get good seats. So I said, you know what? Let me go in through the school. So the school's like, all right, you can go, but you won't get. We won't bill you until because Syracuse runs those tickets. So we won't bill you until we know you get them. But they had choices, and one of them was Delta Club. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to a football game, I want to be in the Delta Club. You know, it wasn't a choice. It wouldn't let me. It was like grayed out. And you couldn't choose it. So then I'm looking. I'm like, bleachers. I'm like, I would love at Yankee Stadium to sit in the bleachers and watch the game. You know, so those were $100. So I chose 4 tickets for $100. So yes, I'm going. B, I haven't got the tickets yet, and I don't know if I won the tickets yet because it's a Syracuse game. But I'm pretty sure I am.
Yeah, you probably get.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. But I really want to sit in the bleachers. I mean, just to watch a football.
When is that game? December?
No, it's probably October or November.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be freezing.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't want to go to any game. And all the home games this year are in September and October, except for that one November 10th game in Florida State against Florida State. So that's good because it gets cold fast out there. So any game after October 20th, you're risking your frozen butt basically.
Now, when you go to Notre Dame, you fly into Notre Dame or you fly in Chicago?
Funny you should mention that because I have I have not been back to Notre Dame since my firstborn was in my wife's belly. The month after 9/11, we went October of 2001 we went.
Yeah.
So back then we used to do flying at that time, fly into Chicago and rent the car and drive into South Bend from there. It's only 90 miles, 90 minutes. Because I always found if you flew, you could fly direct, but you're making connections. So you're going through Pittsburgh, or you're going through somewhere in Detroit, or you're going. So it's like, you know what? Let me just fly. And then when all the mergers of air, because it used to be that Northwest Airlines went through Detroit, U.S. Air went through Pittsburgh. Well, now they're gone. Those two airlines, they've merged, right? So Continental went through Cleveland. That's merged. It became United. Things like that. So Midway Airport was actually closer to South Bend than O'Hare. So I loved going to Midway Airport. Islip has a flight. They have Frontier, which goes to Midway. Where my in-laws live now, out by you, Blue Point and Patchogue they live in, they have their neighbor whose son went there, and he lives in Chicago now, but he's coming in for business this weekend. So I'm supposed to meet with him to discuss the 4 of us going out, his dad and my father-in-law, and him, going out to the game. I'm going to meet him for the first time. But the thing was, the father who lives out there is like, I love taking Islip. I love going through Islip. And I'm like, yeah, but you're at the mercy of, it's one flight. So you're at the mercy of one flight and one airline, you know. So he's like, I don't want to go to LaGuardia. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever you want to do.
I know somebody just looked up Frontier the other day to Florida. They said it was not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not bad. I do know that they get you for everything, like every bag, every this, every that. It's no frills kind of stuff.
Did you ever fly first class? Did you ever do that?
No, I've never
did, huh?
No, I've never flown first class. A couple airlines I've flown that were all business class, but still that's business class, not first class. But no, when I see the price of first class tickets, it's just not worth it to me.
I flew business class for the first time last time I flew.
Oh yeah,
because my grandparents went, and so my grandfather goes in a wheelchair in the airport. He can walk, but when you're in the airport,
right.
And I told him I was with them, and so they gave them the upgrade. So they can't give this one guy not the upgrade too. So they upgraded me to business class.
Well, the problem with wheelchairs in airports is that has nothing to do with the airline. It's entirely contracted by the airport in every city. Each city is different. So that whenever you see someone waiting for days for a wheelchair to come, that's because of whatever contractual agency they've hired. Yeah, garbage in, garbage out kind of stuff. So that has nothing. But that reflects poorly on the airline. The airline's like, it ain't us. It's not us. We didn't do it. But when you see Grandma there and she's waiting for a wheelchair,
how much do you think we go to first class to Florida? Like $700?
No, first class.
Round trip is like $200. So why would it be $700? I would say $500.
Maybe $500. Yeah. I gotta check it out one day.
If you ever go on an international flight, a good recommendation is to say you need an alternative meal.
Oh yeah. That's
Are you going to be on Sunday?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, we've got Mulcahy's Luau tickets to see Big Shot to give away on Sunday.
Del Judas?
Yeah, for Del Judas. Following Thunder Road.
I just seen Mike Serrano the other day.
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's doing good. He does Billy Joel once in a while with them.
Yeah.
He works in another band now too.
They had his 100th show at Madison Square Garden last night, actually.
Unbelievable.
And Bruce came on.
You doing a Mulcahy Sunday show?
We're giving away Mulcahy's tickets.
Oh, they're doing
Mulcahy's luau.
I thought you were doing a Mulcahy Sunday show. I was saying you're piggyback off somebody.
I wonder if they'd ever do that. That's a good question.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Piggyback. Some guy hosts from 9 to noon.
Oh, he's doing that? Oh, Francesca. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about somebody else.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
See you, Richie.
Have a good weekend. Take care, boys.
All right. There goes Richie from Shirley, and Mark Tokatowski, you can see, is with us, along with Cameron Bornagora, Tristan Hamilton, Chris Muldoon. This is Sports Talk. We're here every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Let me give it the phone number. We were talking so much, we didn't give it out, but Richie knows that number. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. That is the number to call. This is Sports Talk every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. 100% commercial free. SportsTalk.com. What is it? Twitter.com/SportsTalk903 and SportsTalk@optonline.net and 516-572-7440. And here's Rays fan extraordinaire, Mark Tokowski.
So we're commercial free and scandal free.
We are scandal free, yes. Richie had not heard the Joe Benigno story, so I think I was able to parse it in pretty good legal terms. I don't know.
I was tweeting with that guy from Newsday who does all the puns. Joe Maniello or something like this. How do you say, if a guy's Italian and the last name has a double N? Is that like a Maniello?
If a double N is just like you would think like Manny Ramirez or Manny.
Okay, so no, I thought some.
Yeah. Some people say like Maniello if it's MANNIELLO.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Some people say Maniello for that. Yeah.
That's what the guy Joe from Newsday. He does the picks and he does the puns.
The change becomes when there's a GN, like Joe Montana.
Oh, see, I was pronouncing it wrong. I thought
and quarterback Joe Montana, his family name was Montagna. They just dropped it 2 generations before him.
But I thought it was called Spagnoli Road. It's actually Spagnoli Road.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, that's really taken a little too far. That's a little too far. That's like when all of a sudden someone's doing the news and they come to a Spanish word and all of a sudden it becomes like so Spanish. Like, come on now, you didn't have to. You were just speaking. Call here on Sports Talk.
Hey, fellas! It's Charles from California.
Hey, Charles from California,
Clipper fan extraordinaire.
Now, here's you would know better than any one of us because you know Anaheim very, very well.
Yes, sir. In fact, I'm wearing my Shohei Ohtani Angel shirt right now with Shohei written in Japanese across the chest. I was actually at the game last week against the Seattle Mariners, and it was incredible. I mean, there is a Shohei fever going on in L.A., and there was thousands of Japanese people at the game. He wasn't even playing.
Was he still on the DL, or where is he? Is he healthy?
Nah, he was just, I think he was just resting, like it was the day after he had pitched, and so he didn't bat either.
When the Major League Baseball commissioner goes out and says that Mike Trout doesn't...
Arguably, its biggest star.
Yeah, exactly. He's arguably right. Doesn't market himself well. What does that say?
I would say it's like... when you see a shoddy craftsman and he's blaming his tools...
Right.
You're seeing a guy, it's like, well, you're the commissioner of Major League Baseball. Maybe you should put Mike Trout in some more commercials or something.
That's the thing. If only there was some guy who could fix that. Oh, wait, it's you.
No, exactly.
Maybe that air upstate New York does something to him.
It's just so funny that it's like, hey, wait a second. Who could fix that? Let's see. Roger Goodell, no, he's the NFL commissioner. Adam Silver, no, he's the NBA commissioner. Who's the baseball commissioner? Oh, you are. Yeah, great. Yeah, sir. I've still yet to, my office is in the same building as Major League Baseball. I've still yet to see Rob Manfred, so I'll let you know when I'll let you know when I do. Yeah.
I'll be surprised when you do, because it'll probably be one of those things like, how did you get inside the special executive elevator? It's like the equivalent of the executive bathroom.
Well, what's funny is they don't have, like, I'm on the 39th floor. The baseball is on 29th floor and 28th. They have, like, there's 3 elevator banks. One is like 1 to 20. One is like 21, 29. Yeah. It's like, so he's just with the unwashed masses. So
he's just in the back entrance.
Yeah, it's very funny. I mean, it's also the Society Generale building, the SocGen building. So there are people making far more money than he is in that building who have to take the regular elevators as well. So
I get it.
So
how's everything else going, fellas?
Yeah.
Are you excited about the basketball season and everything? I mean, the Lakers fans in Los Angeles are becoming rabid. They're like they're getting so worked up, and the season hasn't even started with LeBron. My Clippers are non-existent. I don't know what Mr. Magoo, when he plans to pull his wallet out and actually spend some of that Microsoft money, but I don't know.
Well, they might. The Clippers could now be talking Toronto and reminding Kawhi Leonard, Toronto's far, and you want Los Angeles. You know who plays in Los Angeles and is not the Lakers?
Yeah, but Kawhi wants to play for the Lakers.
I know, but now he's not. He could be a Raptor or he could be a Clipper. I would tell him, which would you rather be, in LA or in Toronto?
Yeah, I used to live in Toronto, actually. I used to live off of Queen and Spadina. It's a beautiful city. I call it New York without all the garbage. It's a metropolitan city in the middle of Canada. If it wasn't for all those goofy Canadians everywhere, they literally leave their houses and doors unlocked. I've checked. These people are hilarious.
Yeah, Toronto pays my bills too, because I work for a Toronto company, and my bosses and everyone I work with is based in Toronto.
I've seen more weird. I was living upstate for 4 months, and people are just sitting at the couch with the doors wide open.
Yeah, in the Netherlands.
I used to love going to the Blue Jays games, and I actually was hoping that, like, when the Yankees built their new stadium, I was like, maybe they'll go and put a hotel in the outfield or something like they do in Toronto, or put a dome over it. But
a hotel I stayed in.
What would that do, though? I guess it would make money because you can't really leave the hotel.
Well,
in the Bronx, what would you do?
Exactly. Yeah. Don't you get it?
That's the thing.
It's beautiful. You have them isolated. You've got a captive audience.
Yeah, and you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and everything becomes concierge service anyway. You'd have your limos, which are really Ubers and stuff, and it wouldn't be a problem.
Scam.
Hey, if they get the idea from me, as long as they spell my name right, I'll be happy. I'm not going to ask for a check.
A retractable dome would be nice, but that occurs nowhere on the Eastern Seaboard because you can't have any no-show political jobs or mafia construction jobs because the roof has to work. It has to open and it has to close. So you'll never see the Giants Jet Stadium is supposed to be a retractable dome, all that stuff. Never wound up being those things. Only one now. The new tennis stadium.
The same thing goes with Los Angeles. The Los Angeles when the Trojans were building refurbishing the Coliseum the first time. Al Davis was promised all this money from the NFL, and he only got one half of his stadium the way that they had promised. And now the Trojans are going to spend another ungodly amount of money to refurbish it, and it'll be nicer, but it's still only going to be half of what I would consider a major stadium.
Why do these owners cry foul if they don't get public money if they already have so much money to begin with? So I'm not in favor.
You tell me. I would think. There's an added saying it's easier to spend other people's money.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's what they said. That's socialism. They're always like, the problem. There's two things. Number one, they say socialism doesn't work because socialists don't work. That's number one. But the other one they say is socialism stops when you run out of other people's money, and that's exactly what it is. This is they're playing billionaire welfare. Really, is what it is.
It is. It's pathetic. I mean, this is something that goes on both sides of the coast. I mean, the Rams are now in the middle of limbo of building a stadium in Culver City. That's a stadium that's supposedly going to be funded by the billionaire himself. And
speaking of the aforementioned MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, he went and released or said 6 cities that could get an expansion team. And when a commissioner says that, he's really just saying, these are the cities I want to see line up with their legislatures and give our guys money and build a stadium. So he said Montreal, Charlotte,
Vegas. I saw Vegas. Yeah, that was
Montreal, Charlotte, Vegas, Portland, I think, was one of them. And I'm trying to think of the other two. Nashville.
Why are we expanding?
So Tyler Clipper could have another job? I mean, give me a break.
Especially baseball,
especially with Tampa and Florida and Miami. Not even
they're building a Tampa stadium that it's not going to hold. It's not going to hold more than 25,000, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have one of the teams move around or something?
That's what they'll do, though. Somehow they're going to make those games, the 81 home games work, where they would have right now football's at what 32 teams.
Yes.
And what's is hockey at that as well?
31.
31. Yeah.
And what's
30.